It has been way, way, way too long. Did you miss me?
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work, work. That's what you say. Hard work, work, work. Earn my pay. Hard work, work. Hard work. Do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of quarter to three. Hard work, work. Let me go and earn my pay. Hard work, work. Boots on and lace.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Give me 1 second. It's been a minute. La 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 la. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It has been a while, Marcus. Good morning to you. Welcome to Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter. Hey, good luck at the job fair, Marcus. At Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the tick and the talk. You know what? I got to get that going. I'll do it when I get back home. Follow me on the tick and the talk at Big Sarge. What is my TikTok handle? Follow me on the tick and the talk at Big Sarge Media. Follow me on Instagram. Because you know we do everything for the gram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. It has been a while. I've been going. I want to say I've been going through a lot, but there has been a lot. And you know what? Let me come in here first because I don't know who's going to be here. But let me just do it this way for just 1 second. As you can tell, the background is a little bit different. I'm still getting everything together. We moved. My wife and I, we moved from our other location to a new location, and so it's been a while. I was moving in between doing the NFL draft, the Rockets in the playoff, Rockets end of the regular season, Rockets in the playoffs, the Astros. It's just a lot going on, and so I'm finally being able to get things together, get my studio together. It's been a lot of changes in my life. I'm no longer a part of the Locked On Texans podcast. I'm still a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, but I'm just not a part of the Locked On Texans podcast anymore. So a story that I'll share with you a little bit later on, not this one, not this show, but at a later date, I'll let you all know my reasons for walking away from the Locked On Texans podcast. And so other than that, man, I've just been working, grinding, trying to get myself ready for this upcoming Texans season, ending the Houston Rockets season. And you know, I got a couple of announcements to make. One, there will be. There is going to be, I want to say starting next week, there'll be 2 separate shows. So there'll be one Sports Talk with Big Sarge show, or maybe I may be changing it to Attention to Orders, but there'll be one show designed for everything. And then there'll be the Texans Tailgate Talk Season 3 loading. And I will be making the Texans Tailgate Talk a podcast. And so I will be doing the show, and I will be recording the show, but I will also be doing there will be a podcast. So there will be a Texans Tailgate Talk podcast coming here real soon. And for those of y'all who follow me for a long time, you all know that, you know, I started this Texans Tailgate Talk a long time ago, 3 years. This is going on the 3rd year. So yeah, until 3 years ago, I decided to, you know, start Texans Tailgate Talk. And it was just me sitting on the back of the truck with guests after training camp, or even just me sitting on the back of the truck with after training camp. And then I did you know, some throughout the season. I had the McNairs on there. I had the beat writers, the people who cover the Houston Texans on there. I had Doug Vosick on there, who was the executive vice president for marketing and communications and ticket sales. And so this year, this year, season 3 that's coming up soon, I will be having some players come sit on the tailgate. And for those of y'all who have followed me and followed my journey, y'all know that Texas tailgate talk means a lot to me. But I wanted to be I wanted to have a show for you all that specifically uh Texans related. There's a lot of people out there who really, really, really enjoy my Texans content. Then there's people out there that enjoy, other content that I do. Like you see, my shirt says mental health matters, and May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so because I do deal with mental health issues, I would love to be able to talk about that. There's a wide, like there's so much to who I am and who I am and who I have become over the years that I want to be able to share that. And I want to be able to bring on different type of guests to talk about different types of things from, what's going on in the world, relationship, mental health issues, all different types of stuff. And so, I'm more than just talking about sports, but I do want to make sure that I give there's a lot of people who have followed me over the years as far as my Texans talk is concerned. And I want to make sure that I give you all that. I want to specifically make sure that I give that audience, that one specific audience, the time that they need. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't be talking about the Astros or the Rockets. I will be talking about it on the other show, and I will give my supporters, because I don't call people fans. I will give my supporters the time that is needed to talk and get their takes out about the Rockets and about the Astros and about sports in general. I mean, I want to talk about a variety of things, but I do know that the Texans is one of the main reasons that a lot of people follow me. But I want to give people other reasons to follow me as well, and be interested in what I have to say as well. And so that will be that's coming soon. Now that we've gotten set up and I've gotten to a stable position and my schedule has started to slow down a little bit, I'm able to do just that. And so just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. Just work with me. Like I say, you can see, look, it's still everything. I'm just building it up. I just got to put everything together. I still got to get I'm still trying to figure out the lighting. I'm still trying to figure out how the background should be. There's things that I haven't put up on the wall just yet, but there will be things that I will be putting up there. And yeah. So, I'm just happy to be back. I had to do that. Hold on for a second. Let me exit my full screen. What's up, people? What's good? What's good, y'all? My wife is doing a mental health series now, with her being a mental health. Hey, I appreciate that. AD, tell it for somebody who suffers from mental health issues. I really do appreciate that. So, like I said, it's been a minute. It's been a while. So let me go ahead and get some things out the way. On Friday, we'll have an opportunity to speak with Houston Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans about rookie minicamp starts on Friday, and we'll get a chance to probably speak to some of the rookies. Now, I know that AJ, I need to talk to you. We need Buzzed and Petty. Just letting you know that. And I think we need Buzzed and Petty on your platform. We need to pitch that. So please give me a call later on today. So we're going to get a chance to speak to the rookies. Now, I know it has been a minute. The last time that I talked Texans on camera was when the Rockets were playing in game 3 and 4 in San Francisco, because I left here and I covered game 3 and 4 out in San Francisco. And the last thing that I got to talk about on the Locked On Texans podcast was about the grades. And so some of you all may have missed that. Don't worry. After Texans rookie minicamp, I don't need. You know what's so funny, EJ? I have an Aaron Rodgers jersey. I'm not putting it on the wall. Hey, what's going on, cousin? My wife is not an Aaron Rodgers fan, even though she is the biggest. She is the biggest Green Bay Packers fan. So, like I said, real quickly, right? You know what? I'm going to talk about it later on the happy hour, because there will be a Texans happy hour today. So make sure you come back, and I will get into all of that. I'll get into all of what I've seen today, which won't be much. It won't be a lot. And side note, let me be petty. Hey, for the couple of guys out there that, do the aggregation thing, you know who you are. You know who I'm speaking with. If it doesn't apply to you, then don't take it to heart. But there are some people out there, right? And listen, let me tell you all something. I moved in a different direction. I moved in a different mindset. Moved in a different, but I'm still petty at heart. So that's what I fight with on a continual basis. I fight with pettiness. But let me just say this. Hey, for those of you all, and you know exactly who I'm talking to, who depend on me so you can make sure that your aggregated stuff is amazing, don't worry. I'm gonna do an amazing job. Keep following. And even if you're not following from your main account and you're following from your burner account, that's cool. I'm going to make sure that you get the best and most accurate Texans information that you need. You know what? Let me go back in the full screen. I need to see myself when I say this, because I don't need to look at the comments just yet. I'm going to make sure that I am accurate, like I always am in my reporting. I'm going to continue to put out my insider information. I'm going to continue to put out everything that I have coming from the Houston Texans. So make sure that you are following Big Sarge on the app formerly known as Twitter. And look, if you're going to use my work, right? If you're going to aggregate my work, at least go over to YouTube and give me a sub, because some of the things you're not going to be able to find on Twitter. Coming here real soon, some of those things you're not going to be able to find. You're only going to be able to find it on YouTube exclusively and through the podcast. So come on now. If we're going to share this work, right? Because you know what it is? It's kind of like, y'all remember on Friday when what was the dude's name? Day? Was it Day? Was it Day that told Debo, hey man, it's kind of like our bike. I'm just gonna keep it in my house. It's kind of like our content, but I'm just gonna keep it on my platform. As far as you could aggregate it as long as you give me the credit. But even if you don't, that's cool. I'm gonna make sure that you get the most accurate information that you can. Yeah, that's petty. And guess what? I don't care, because the one thing that I've learned over the last 2 months is one thing that I've learned in the last 2 months is people are going to be people regardless of who you are or what you do. People are going to be who they are, right? People are going to be exactly who they are, no matter what. No matter how much you try to help them, no matter how much you try to make sure that they're on the right path to doing certain things, especially if you've ran into the wall before. You try to teach them or tell them, hey man, don't run into this wall because I've already ran into it. It's a wall right there. Don't run into that wall. Hey bro, it's a wall right there. Don't worry about it. Cool. I'm just gonna move out the way and watch you, because I am going to laugh and I'm going to record it. So with that being said, let me get back real quick, because I got something that I want to say real quick about the Houston Texans. I'm really interested in seeing oh, that was Red, not Data. Okay, that was Red. My bad. Red. Yeah, it's kind of like my bike. It's not like our bike. I'm just gonna keep it in my house. So let me say something real quick about the Houston Texans, though. And I don't know if this was related or not, because I did not get an opportunity to say my take on the draft, even though I covered the draft and I was at the draft and I got a chance to speak with a lot of the draft picks. I spoke with the second day draft picks. They didn't, that the Houston Texans did not have a first round draft pick. They traded out of the first round and picked up multiple picks later on. And so I got a chance to speak with wide receivers, Jaden Higgins, Higgins and Noel and Tay Ariante. So I got a chance to speak with them, but I did not get a chance to speak with the third day people. Who did I speak to? Jalen Smith as well. I got so many J's over. I can't remember Jaden. I don't know. We do have to have an intervention about the Houston Rockets, and I'm going to talk about that real quickly because I got a little time before I have to get out here and head over to NRG. But I'm really proud of what the Houston Texans did as far as their draft. I had to give them. I gave them a B+ because I really like what they did at the wide receiver position. I don't know if you all remember me saying, "Let me fix this hat." Right? I'm gonna change hats, y'all. I just need to be able to see me first. Put that right there. When I put that hat back on, it'll be for the Texas happy hour. There we go. All right. Now, why does it seem like there's a glare? Was I blocking something? Where's the glare coming from? Let me see something. Oh, there's a glare coming from somewhere. Got to put the hat back on. It's blocking out the glare. All right. So, like I was saying, I give the Houston, what's up, Texas Tangent? The Jalen's need nicknames. They do need nicknames, but I give the Houston Texans a B+ for what they did in the draft. And I don't know if you all remember now, I was one of the main proponents of going and getting a wide receiver. You have to go out and get a wide receiver because I said, yes, the offensive line was terrible last year. CJ got hit a lot last year. I said, but it also came from long developing plays. So if you get the ball out of CJ's hands quick enough, you ain't got to worry about him getting hit. I've said that on multiple occasions. I said that when I was on Sports Sunday at KPRC Channel 2 with Randy McElvoy and Aaron Wilson. Hey man, I wanted them to get Golden, right? Matthew Golden out of UT. But I said, hey man, go out and get him some wide receivers. And if you get him some wide receivers or get him a number 2 wide receiver and give him some better plays, he can what's up, Tay? He can get the ball out of his hands quicker. Then you can get the offense moving more. You'll also be able to see what I'm looking forward to seeing is when they have Nico on one side, and I think I put this out during the draft about them playing double bigs, just like double bigs, exactly like the Houston Rockets were doing with Alperen Sengun and Steven Adams. I said now the Houston Texans said this when they drafted Jaden Higgins, that they can go double big as well because you got 6'4" wide receiver Nico Collins on one side, and you got a 6'4" wide receiver and Jaden Higgins on the other side. And then you put Christian Kirk in a slot. And then sometimes, just like what the Houston Texans would do, the Houston Rockets would do, they would add Jabari Smith Jr. in there to give them more size. Then you could also throw in Xavier Hutchinson in there, who's like 6'3", right? 6'3". And you can't sustain that. But if you just give the defense that type of look, just put them on the heels that's saying, hey, we could go to this. And so I really like what they did by going and getting, wide receivers. I understand what the offensive line is right now. And it's something that I asked Houston Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans on last week about at the charity golf tournament about, you have all these guys who can be moved around on the offensive line. How do you go into training camp with the mindset of, we want this player to be here, we're going to move him here? And he says, hey man, I just want somebody that can do one thing good. I don't need somebody that can do a lot of things average. I need some people that can do one thing good. And so you look at what the additions that they made in the offseason. You look at what, he even said Ariante Ursery is going to be a tackle. I think that General Manager Nick Caserio said on one of these shows that he's going to be a tackle as well. So I'm just interested in seeing that because we know that the defense is solid. We know that the Houston Texans defense is solid. So we're going to focus more on the offense. One of the things that I'm more interested in seeing in training camp this year, and I'll make sure that I keep you all abreast on what's going on at training camp, as I will be at, if God says the same, I will be at every training camp, reporting from every training camp. I'll be at all the preseason games, and I'm waiting on the schedule to drop so I can go ahead and get my travel together because, I'm one of them ones, myself and a couple of other people that are on the beat that cover games home and away. And so I'm just waiting on that. But like I said, I like what they did on the offense side of the ball. I don't like that they went out they wasted a draft pick on a quarterback. I don't like that, but we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Like I said, it's been a minute. So when I get out to rookie mini camp today, listen, there's not going to be a lot that comes out of rookie mini camp. Okay. I just thought I should tell you all that I've covered. Hey, what's up, Sarah? I've covered enough rookie mini camps to tell you all that the only thing that these guys are learning during this mini camp is NFL scheduling. Like, meaning when I say NFL scheduling, that means that how do you go about your day, right? These are you got to be here at this time, here at that time, practice. Got to be here, 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 here. This is what you need to do as far as conditioning is concerned. This is what you do as far as eating is concerned. Hey, this is what we do when we're on the field, when we're stretching. This is what we do. This is what we do when we break off into different position groups. This is what we do when we come together as the offense as a whole or the defense as a whole. And that's all. That's all they're learning. Hey, look, when we go through stretching drills, this is what we're doing. There's not going to be a lot. And because I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, there may be some people that's going to be out there on Friday that will give you more. I don't know I don't know, because there's not going to be any action. All you're going to do is see them stretching. You're going to see them running a little bit, but that's it. We'll get a chance to, what we're really going to do is get a chance to place our eyes on them. We're going to get a chance to talk to D'Amico about having them all in the building like that. And then we'll get a chance to speak with some of the players. And then there's going to be some undrafted guys in there. There's going to be some guys in there who's looking to make a team, who got invited to rookie mini camp and probably will get invited to training camp. We got OTAs after that, voluntary OTAs, then mandatory OTAs, and then we'll have that break before we go into training camp, and that's when the action starts. But I will keep you updated and abreast on everything that we see out there. What these players look like. I'll never forget, man, the first time I seen him, and this is one thing that I respected about Dameon Pierce. When he was out there, Dameon Pierce did not lose nothing. When they were stretching, he stretched the best. When they were running, he outran everybody. And I like to just see what type of guys are going to come in and what their mindsets are going to be, because you got to remember, man, this is like you going to your first job, right? This is the equivalent of their first 90 days. This is the equivalent of their first 90 days, because this is the beginning. This is their what do you call that? God dang it, I can't think of the word. What's the word when you first get to the job and they bring you in and you may be with some other people and they bring you into the conference room and they talk to you? God dang it, the word's slipping my mind right now. But what is the word? I can't think of the word, but how no, not probationary period. It's the very initial meeting, orientation. Thank you, Senor Boble. This is their orientation. This is the rookies' orientation starting on Friday, right? Man, I appreciate that. Thanks, Queena. This is their orientation coming into the NFL. This is them. Hey, welcome to the league. This is what you got to be able to do in order to stay in the league. Where this is where it starts, right here, right now. So this is their orientation, and they're going into their 90-day probationary period. By the time preseason comes, and by the time the end of training camp and the end of preseason, now you're getting ready to start your job, and then they'll have a better idea and a better view of what they're looking for. And I will say this, y'all think that sometimes that Nick Caserio just be talking. Sometimes Nick Caserio, to me, I just be like, Nick, I didn't understand one word you said. I mean, I got 3 words. I'm going to put it together and put it the way I want. But Nick Caserio has told you all on more than one occasion, and so has D'Amico Ryans, hey, this team is easy to make. There's a lot of talent. Even though people will look and say, I don't know, there's a lot of talent on this team. And that's why, especially on the offensive side of the ball, I'm interested in seeing what new offensive line coach Cole Popovich is going to bring to that offensive line. And I want to see what Nick Caley is going to do. And I think that if those two can work hand in hand, along with wide receiver coach Ben McDaniel and Jerry Shaplinski, I think that that group as a whole, because I've never seen them coach together. I've never seen Nick Caley call one play. I've never seen Cole Popovich be in charge of the offensive line. I know that he was the assistant offensive line coach, but I'm always, I like in certain things, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And if you have the blueprint, if you have the foundation, like Nick Caley isn't coming in and inheriting the offensive play calling duties of the team 4 years ago, right? Pre-DeMeco Ryans. Pre-DeMeco Ryans, that team was horrible. Pre-DeMeco Ryans, that offense. Pre-DeMeco Ryans, they had talent, but they ain't got talent like they got now. What Nick Caley is inheriting is a quarterback who is on a trajectory to be a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. You got a wide receiver that before he went down last year and missed 5 games was on the road to becoming an all NFL wide receiver. He would have made the all NFL team, right? In Nico Collins. You still have a really good back in Joe Mixon, who made the Pro Bowl last season. I think Nick Caley's specialty as far as coaching tight ends, maybe you'll see a different maybe you'll see a different Dalton Schultz this year. But if not, I don't think that he'll be afraid to move on and implement Brevin Jordan, who's coming back off of injury, and Cade Stover. Because in Dalton Schultz, you have a traditional wide receiver. You have a traditional tight end. You have a traditional get off the line, go a couple yards, catch the ball. But with Brevin Jordan and Cade Stover, what you have is those hybrids that you can start them out on the line, pick them up, move them out a little bit, and then create that one-on-one matchup, that bigger body matchup with the nickelback or with the safety. And Brevin Jordan is a big guy. Cade Stover isn't the biggest of guys, but he's smart. One, he learned a lot of route concepts when he was at Ohio State with a bunch of those wide receivers that came out of Ohio State. And then he has what a lot of people knocked some of these former Texan players for. He got the heart. Cade Stover has the intestinal fortitude to say, I want to beat you. I want to destroy you. And even if I lose, we remember the Minnesota game, right? The Minnesota game, I think in that first offensive series, they sent Cade Stover in motion to try to block former Texans defensive end Jonathan Grenard, Pro Bowl Jonathan Grenard. By the way, one of my guys, I'm a huge Jonathan Grenard fan. Tried to block him, and Jonathan Grenard pretty much destroyed him, which he should have. That's what you do. Cade Stover was a rookie. You should do that to a rookie. That's what you should have done to him. Later on that week, I talked to Cade, and I was like, Cade, man, bruh, you had to go up against Jonathan Grenard. And I'm talking to him exactly like this. It's like, bro, when you went up against Jonathan Grenard, he's like, yeah. He said, that wasn't a good, he said, I knew it wasn't going to be a good matchup. I knew it was going to, the physicality was coming. But I also wasn't afraid, Sarge. I wasn't afraid to go over there and block him. And when I was going there, my mindset was to beat him. And he's a veteran. He beat me. He used some veteran tactics on me, and he beat me. He said, but if they'd have sent me right back over there, I'd have went right back over there and done the exact same thing. When he steps onto the field, he does not want to lose. What's up, D Skills? So that's the one thing that I want to see, how Nick Caley is going to impose his will upon that tight end, that tight end room. And if he could take them to the next level, if he can get them to, not solely focus on just going out in routes and catching the ball, but also being able to block for Joe Mixon, being able to block, and give CJ Stroud the time that he needs to get the ball out of his hands and be that safety valve and that safety release. You remember Nick Caley has coached some of the best tight ends, in in the game. And he comes from a system where he's seen the tight ends be used in a very, very productive way. And that's when he was with New England, and that's when he was with the Los Angeles Rams. And so hopefully some of that has, some of that Rams, that Sean McVay magic has rubbed off onto Nick Caley. So, like I said, on Friday, we'll just get a chance to see that. All right, before I get up out of here, let me say this. I want to give a special shout out to the Houston Rockets for winning over 50 games this season, for winning the Southwest Division, for being the number 2 seed in the West, and for taking a team who still has that championship mentality, in the Golden State Warriors to 7 games. And if you go back and you look at games 3 and 4 when they were on the road, the Houston Rockets had a real opportunity to win both of those games and win that series, but they lost. They missed 10 games. 10 games. They missed 10 free throws in game 3, and they missed 12 free throws in game 4. And those are the type of things that you have to do in order to get over the hump to beat a Steph Curry-led team like the Golden State Warriors. And so, you look at Steve Kerr and what he's done, right? You look at Steve Kerr, what he's done over the last 10 years, and what Steph Curry has done and what Draymond Green has done. Even Looney giving, some of that championship caliber type mentality and play in the playoffs. And then you got Jimmy Butler, who just won't quit. We talked about Cade Stover's heart. Jimmy Butler, like, if the day that it's time for Jimmy Butler to leave this earth, they need to take his heart out and preserve it and put it into somebody else, because Jimmy Butler is all heart, and he's also been, there's a such thing as playoff Jimmy. And so I'm saying all that to say this. There was a couple of things that happened in that series that has been talked about a lot, right? There's a lot of things that have been talked about a lot. And, I've made mention of them on my social media, and I'm going to talk about them here because this is Sports Talk with Big Sarge, and this is Big Sarge's platform. And, if you don't like it, you can do, one or two things. You can either respond and have a conversation with me, or you can just leave. Log off. I don't understand. That's the problem. I don't understand. Hey, when I see something that I don't like, y'all know what I do? I either refresh or keep scrolling. If I'm in the middle of a conversation with somebody and it's not going the way that I feel like it should go because it's getting disrespectful, I just block you. There's nothing wrong in blocking people. Mental health matters. You got to preserve your own peace. And for my peace and my sanctity, I'm just going to block you, right? I'm going to block you. And then you can use your burner, and then I'm going to block that too. Because I just don't get it. I just don't understand where we've gotten to as a society where we just can't have good, healthy sports debates anymore, right? Debates in general. Let's just talk about debates in general. I don't want to get into politics, and I know why that is as toxic as it is, but golly, boy, these sports debates, it's gotten out of hand. They have gotten out of hand. And some of these people that be trying to come at me, I be like, bro, I've forgotten more basketball than you'll ever watch in your life. Stop trying to throw analytics at me. I'm going by the eye test. So with that being said, right? With that being said, Jack, you asked me, J-Rock, you asked me, should Fred resign? Resign, right? Yes, he should. Let me touch on a couple of things right quick. And I'm pretty sure there's some people going to clip this up and put it out, and that's cool. It's Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. First off, I'm gonna tell you where the Rockets lost. I'm gonna tell you how the Rockets lost in Game 7. One of the key things and one of the key elements that has not been talked about a lot. I've talked about it. I talked about it on the B Block podcast with Brandon K. Scott. You've seen me and Kelly Eco from the Athletic New York Times talk about it a lot. The Houston Rockets got outcoached. And, I know that you always expected me to go straight to Jalen. I'm not going to go straight to Jalen. And I'm going to tell you why I won't go straight to Jalen. I'm going to think that one of the main factors is that they got outcoached. Because when you see that the Golden State Warriors showed a little bit of what they wanted to do in game one, and then they backed off of it in game two. And Jalen had a terrible game one, and they backed off of it in game two, and then he torched them for 38 points. And then they came back for the rest of the series and deployed the same defensive scheme that they had used against him in game one. And this is where I tell you all, stop watching the box scores, right? Stop watching the box scores and watch the game, right? And if you have an opportunity, don't just watch the game at home. If you have an opportunity, if you can afford it, and I'm not talking about travel, but just come to a game and watch the game. Watch the game within the game. Because you're watching the game on television. There's a whole nother game going on that you can't see, or the TV isn't showing you, or you're not paying attention to. And so, with that being said, in games 3 through 7, Draymond Green has said this, Steph Curry has said this, Steve Kerr has said this. The focal point was to get the ball out of Jalen Green's hands, right? And people will say, Sarge, you be giving Jalen excuses by saying that this is his first playoffs, and this is his first playoffs, and you know he's young and blase this and blase that. And then y'all want to throw in all these other players in their first playoff experiences, right? And I don't even do that. I don't even throw in other people's playoffs to prove my point, because there's been a lot of times, there's been a lot of great players who have played bad in their first playoff series and gone on to greatness. And there was some that played great in their first playoff series and they went on to greatness, or they flamed out. And so I'm not even using that. What I'm going to say is that when you look at it in totality, right? Jalen Green came into the Houston Rockets organization. In his first 2 years, they were tanking. Like, that's not a secret. I'm not telling you something that you don't already know. You know that their first 2 seasons, they were tanking. Then they got Ime, and they went 41-41, 500. And if I feel like if Amen Thompson and Tari Eason stays healthy, they make at least the playoffs the play-in at least last season. They went 41-41. They had some injuries. Even if Alperen Sengun stays healthy, they may make it into the play-in, right? And then you fast forward to his second season. So really, if you really look at it, Jalen has been in the league for 4 years, but he's only played 2 years of basketball. You understand what I'm trying to say? He's been in the league for 4 years, but he's only played 2 seasons of basketball. And that's no shot at Stephen Silas, because y'all know that I'm a Stephen Silas guy. And I feel like if the Rockets had a Stephen Silas on their bench, they would have been able to defeat whatever the Golden State Warriors was trying to do. I think in the last season that Stephen coached, that Coach Silas coached, they had 76 different lineups throughout that season. There was a guy, and I tell this story all the time, there was a guy that the Rockets signed that flew from wherever he was to Chicago, caught a bus to Milwaukee, and the Rockets were playing the Bucks that same night. He got there, and he's learning plays, and he's learning people's names while he's on the court or sitting on the bench. And so Jalen's first 2 years of basketball, there was a lot of disarray. There was a lot of adversity. There was a lot of going on. I mean, there's a lot of things that happened, and a lot of players who were bad influences on him in the beginning. And then Ime came and he cleaned all that up. And then he brought in a player like players like Jeff Green, championship caliber. He brought in Aaron Holiday. He brought in Dylan Brooks. He brought in Fred VanVleet. He even brought in Steven Adams. Like, those guys are very instrumental in helping Jalen grow and get to the next point. So, as I digress, let me tell you how the first thing is the coaching lost the series. When you go into games 3 through 7, you know that their focal point is to take the ball out of Jalen's hands. Jalen is doing what you're telling him to do. Hey, you get double, kick the ball out, right? Kick the ball out. Now, I think in game 3, coming off of game 2 where he had that 38 points, game 3, it wasn't clicking to him at first. He was still running in a double team, still doing this type of thing, still trying to carry that momentum over from game 2 into game 3. And the whole defensive scheme had changed. And in the second half, he realized that. And that's when, of course, Fred took over too, because Fred had Fred scored 13 of the first 20 points. Like, we've seen Fred VanVleet do exactly what he was brought to Houston to do and take over in the rest in that series, right? So Jalen is getting double teamed. The defense is designed to get the ball out of his hand, knowing that he's young, knowing that he ain't never experienced nothing like this, knowing that this defense that we're throwing at him, and the Golden State Warriors are a good team. Look at what they're doing, even without Steph Curry on Thursday night. Like, they got blown out, but their defense was still pretty good. It just took, like, the Minnesota Timberwolves got hot. But you see what they're trying to do to Anthony Edwards, and you see how even though he's averaging 20 points, like, that 20 points ain't coming easy for him. That 21 in the first game wasn't easy. That 20 in the second game wasn't easy. They have always designed their defense into taking out the star player, and you got to have the other players in there to be able to beat them. So now you got you got Jalen Green in the game. If you're going to run the double big lineup, hey, why not run 2 screens for him, right? Run Steven Adams run Steven Adams for the first screen, and if they adjust to that with the switch, bring Alperen Sengun up for the second screen. The first screen is the dummy screen. The second screen is the action you're actually looking for with the screen and roll. The pick and roll with Alpi. So now he set the screen. Alpi's man has switched on to Jalen, which is a mismatch. Jalen's man has switched on to Alpi, which is a mismatch. Now they're rolling and they're both going downhill. Like, that's just some of the things that I'm looking at. Now, I've never been an NBA coach, and this is just me on the outside looking in. But I'm saying I think that probably would have worked if you'd have just tried it. Also, coaching. When you're running that double big lineup, you got the size on the floor, but you're clogging the paint, and you only really have one shooter on the floor. When Jabari's not in the lineup, you only have Fred that can really shoot. And don't get me wrong, Dylan had a very good offensive season this year. Dylan can shoot, but the Golden State Warriors can play defense. And he's exerting a lot of energy on the defensive side of the ball as well. When you bring that double big lineup, you got Alpi, who needs to operate in the paint. Steven is going to be in the paint. Amen gets to the paint. Jalen works in the paint. Dylan can shoot, but he likes to operate in the paint too. Now you've clogged the paint. So now, and not only have you clogged the paint, the Golden State Warriors are not going to let you get into the paint. They're not. They're just not. You're going to beat us. You're going to have to beat us from out there. And if you don't have the shooters to beat us, hey, look, Fred is going off. Cool. We'll live and die by letting Fred go off. We're not going to let Jalen go off. Hey, we'll live and die by playing Alpi one-on-one. That's another story for another time. We'll live and die by playing Alpi one-on-one because that's just 2 points. But we're not going to let Jalen get momentum and shoot the 3 and, get downhill. We're not going to do that. So when the times got tough and in games like 5, 6, and 7, you've seen what they're going to do to him. You've seen what they did to him in game 1. You've seen what they did to him in game 3. You've seen what they did to him in game 4. Where was the offensive adjustment to free Jalen up? Where was the resets in that offense to free Jalen up? You can't just let him get double teamed and then kick the ball out and then don't have no type of action for him to reset and try to get the ball back. Hey, look, Jalen got double teamed, kicked it. All right, Jalen, look, if you get double teamed on the right elbow, kick the ball to the open player, right? Kick the ball to the open player. Whoever's on the opposite side of Jalen, I want you to kick the ball and I want you to reverse. And when you reverse, whoever's on this backside, you come and you set that screen, let Jalen reverse and get right there. Hold on. And this is my brother. He ain't my little brother no more because he's a grown man. But this is a guy that I have a lot of respect for, and I'm going to let me put his comments up here. Right? I wouldn't say I coach at all. We have a blueprint for success that got us to the second seed. However, it does take a younger team more time to adjust. Kerr can create, but can the Rockets adjust? For example, let me see how this young athletic player with no playoff experience handles being doubled off the pick and roll. Doubled off the pick and roll because no one's done that the whole year. Kerr takes muscle memory and reputation out of the game, out of the equation as a coach, and makes team adjust something differently. Hold on. What's the rest, Al? It just stopped right there. It haven't. And you're right. But the reason why I say they got out coached, Al, and look, basketball knowledge. Hey, look, one thing that I respect about some of you all don't know who that is. I call him Tremaine. His real name is Alan Lewis, and you can look him up. Al played at Sharpstown High School, got his jersey retired, went on to play at San Jack, left San Jack, went to Arizona State University, broke Jason Kidd's Pac-10 all-time assist record. And, you know, if it hadn't been for injury, he would have been playing in the NBA as well. Got a lot of respect for Al and a lot of respect. And I call him Tremaine because I've been knowing him since he was little. And we used to dog him out when he was younger at the court, but that made him stronger. Then I couldn't after that, when he started to get a little bit older and a little bit bigger, stronger, faster, I could do nothing with him no more. So I stopped playing against him. So here's the rest of what he said. He's a high screen and roll type of guard who needs space. Exactly. So that's what I said, Al. That's what I said earlier, that you could, if he's got the ball at the top, why not run a double screen for him to free him up and to create a mismatch on whichever who's ever holding Steven Adams when you're running a double big lineup. You're running a double big lineup with Steven Adams or Alperen Sengun, or even bring our men's man up, right? But also, what the Golden State Warriors did was they started going zone. And when they started going zone, they're still blitzing Jalen at the top. They're still blitzing him, but now you don't have a lot of shooters on the floor. And so if you have, I felt like they got out coached because they needed more offensive-minded coaches to draw up the plays and say, hey, this is what – they didn't make the adjustments to the adjustments Steve Kerr was making on the fly. And I think that that's something that Coach Udoka is going to look at in the offseason and say, yeah, this is something that we needed to do better, especially when we got such a young player like Jalen Green, like Al said, who wasn't used to seeing that type of thing. So that's one. Two, I think that Jalen Green could have played better. I know he could have played better. We watched him play better. And if y'all don't think that that young man has taken it up on himself to be like, let me say it like this, right? And this ain't got, you know what? Because this is my show, right? But I don't want to cuss. Don't cuss, Sarge. Don't do it. Hand over heart. Don't do it. All right. So I don't care what the analytics say. I don't care what the data says. I don't care what the box score says. I'm watching with my eyes and I'm talking to the players, right? And if y'all don't think that Jalen Green took this playoff series hard, if you don't think that the Rockets losing in 7 games, and you don't think that he not only knows that he could have done better, but he bears the brunt of responsibility, even at 23 years old, like this has affected him a lot. You know how I know that? No data can tell you that. No analytics can tell you that. No box score can tell you that. You know who could tell me that? Jalen Green. And I talked to Jalen Green on multiple occasions throughout this playoffs, right? I've talked to him on numerous occasions throughout this playoffs. And I know how much he was affected by it, and he kept trying to bounce back, and he just had a bad playoff series. First playoff series to the side, youth to the side, he played bad. Now you also got to give credit to the Golden State Warriors for making him play bad, but he played bad and he knows that. He knows that. And while we're out here bashing Jalen Green, I put this tweet out yesterday. While we're out here bashing Jalen Green, I'm going to tell you the one thing Jalen Green did not do that I've seen other NBA superstars do. Jalen Green did not run from the media. When he was asked to speak, he spoke. By the time we got into the locker room, Jalen, after the press conference with Ime, by the time we got into the locker room, that's enough time for Jalen to get dressed and be gone. Jalen stayed. He asked the communications manager, "Hey, you need me? You need me tonight? They need to talk to me." And he came up there and he faced the music. And you could have asked him any question you wanted to ask him. He said, "I got to be better." He said, "I play like shit." That's exactly what he said. He said that. He did not run. I respect that. I respect him for standing up to the music. Because if I'm not mistaken, then James Harden, he didn't even speak after Game 7 in Denver, right? He spoke. Jalen Green stayed around and spoke. And off the record, I talked to him. If you read my article on Rockets Wire USA today, you seen the conversation that Jalen and I put out the conversation that Jalen and I had before he spoke after Tari Eason. It's in the article. Go read it. Rockets Wire USA today. Go read it. And so that's the one thing that I respect about that young man. He played bad. Him and I talked about his bad play. Him and I talked about him going to be better. But just like everybody else said, Draymond Green said it, Fred VanVleet said it. Hey, these guys, he won't be the first, and he's not the first, and he won't be the last to have this type of playoff series. What he does after this, he should be able to bounce back. And so, I think that the Rockets got out coached. And let me stay right there for one more second, because I talked about some of the ways that I felt like they could have freed Jalen Green up. But you also, if the Warriors are going to go into a zone like that, you got to get shooters on the floor. Hey, this is what you want to do? You're going to zone us up? Don't worry about it. I got that part. Hey, why Aaron Holiday didn't play more? Aaron Holiday is one of the best catch and shoot guys that the Houston Rockets had. Okay, well, because, what about on the defensive end? Well, you're playing zone too. Aaron Holiday can play in the zone, and Aaron Holiday can play defense. He doesn't play as good as defense as Drew does. His brother, Drew Holiday, plays for the Boston Celtics, but Aaron Holiday could play as well. 1. 2, in Game 7, you only played Jabari Smith Jr. for 12 minutes, who's also one of your better catch and shoot players. You're playing for 12 minutes. Not only do you only playing for 12 minutes, and you've seen what he was able to do throughout the series, and he only had like I think he only averaged like 4-point-something shot attempts. But what about the ways that you get him open? And Al, I don't know if you remember Coach Johnson or not. This is before Coach Restra at Charlestown High School. Coach Johnson taught us a way to beat any zone. And the Warriors was running a 1-3-1, right? It's one person at the top, 3 people in the middle, 1 person on the backside, and wherever the ball goes, it turns. It's a 1-3-1. It's a 1-3-1 here because of the wing player turns it. The zone shifts. Come here, it goes back to a 1-3-1 because the zone shifts, and if it goes this way, it's still a 1-3-1. So it's still a 1-3-1 everywhere. But the one thing that Coach Johnson always said was one of the most effective ways to beat a zone is passing. You could beat a zone. You could pass the ball faster than the zone can move. And there was still a lot of ball stoppage during the Rockets game. It's just during the Rockets against the Golden State Warriors when they went to that zone. The ball was just stopping. Not only that, right? Not only that. You look at what he's going. You look at another thing, and this is what Coach Johnson taught me too. if I'm going to move the ball, and if they're only going to play one player on the backside, I mean, that's sometimes you could be a 2-3 zone barely, but if you're going to run a 1-3-1 like that, then guess what I'm doing? I'm going to take who's ever on the wing, and he's going to run the baseline. So if the ball swings, bam, by the time the ball gets here and the ball gets here, that person should be running. And you can either stop right here at the basket and get the one-on-one here, or you can continue to run because I already got somebody right here. So when the zone shifts, that one person has to play two people. I did not like the Rockets zone offense against the Warriors zone defense. And so if you get to moving the ball, right? You move the ball, you can move the ball faster than the zone can adjust, and you can create the mismatches. I know this because the Golden State Warriors did that to the Houston Rockets. That's exactly. Yep, right, Al. Short corner. And, hey, don't get me wrong, Al. I know you don't get a chance to watch these often, but I go back in and I read the comments. So we'll get to that. I'm going to come back and read all of these comments. That's what. Well, this is an interactive show. You put it up there. You talk to me. You talk to the people in here. You talk to the other people that's in there, and then send me the calling number. I got some Rockets talk for you. Hey, Larry, that's coming up soon, real soon. I'm telling you, I got the board to do it. I just got to set the phone up. No, I'm getting the call in pretty soon. So the zone offense I did not like. I did not like that you didn't use Aaron Holiday and Jabari Smith Jr. more. Jalen Green struggled. And then, listen, sometimes you got to bow down to things greater than yourself. And we've seen that even at the Boston Celtics days and even in the Houston Rockets, like Steve Kerr at this point just coaches better than Ime right now. And I'm not to say that Ime, because Ime has only been coaching for 3 years. Steve Kerr, look how long Steve Kerr has been coaching. And Ime has had great success, but he's only been coaching for 3 years. So there's still some things that he's throwing out there. He's like, hey, man, I done been through the trenches. Like, think about it, bro. Think about it. Steve Kerr has battled with Kevin Durant, against Kevin Durant. He's battled against Kyrie Irving. He's battled against Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards. Like he's battled against some stars that are bigger than Jalen Green is right now. Now, I'm not saying that Jalen Green won't get to that level. I believe he's going to get to that level, but he's battled against the top notch. Like I have LeBron James as my GOAT. You already know that. And how many times did Steve Kerr have to devise and draw up a plan to go up against LeBron James? This is when a young, vibrant LeBron James. So he's seen a lot and he knows a lot. And he's like, you got a superstar over there, but he's young. He ain't seen some of the things. He ain't been through some of the things that we're going to throw at him. And Ime, you're still a young coach. Y'all don't realize Ime's only been coaching for 3 years. Like he's only coached 3 seasons. 3. That's it. 3. How many has Steve Kerr been coaching? And not only that, not only him coaching that amount of time, right? Also, he got a staff that has, I think he got 2 former head coaches on his squad, on his bench. He got 2. I think he got 2 of them on his bench. Hold on, yeah, okay. So that's important as well. Ime has a lot of guys on his bench that are very good. I am not knocking the Houston Rockets bench. I think that those coaches are really good. I just don't think that they were ready to go up against that experience. I said this before, and I say it again. Not only did the Houston Rockets players learn something this series, the coaches learned something as well. And Ime Udoka said it in his last press conference and in his last press conference after the game 7, and he said it in his exit interviews. We got to come back better as coaches as well. We got to do a better job as coaches as well. So what I'm saying here, I'm not just talking out of the side of my neck or trying to blow smoke up anybody's butt. This is the things that has been said on the record and off the record. I talked to a lot of people off the record about Jalen Green and what he can do to get better. And just like Steph said in the press conference, when I asked him about some advice that he'd give him, he said sometimes loss can be your biggest motivator. And so the one thing that I want to see is I want to see the Rockets come back. I don't know what type of team they're going to have next year. I don't know exactly who they're going to be, but you bring them back and you have enough young talent on your team to be able to do what you need to do, I think, to get over the hump. Because it's, I told Jalen after the game, I said 3 years ago, bro, three years ago, you was ending your second season without winning more than 25 games. 3 years ago, you hadn't won more than 25 games in the league. You hadn't won a combined 50 games total your first 2 years in the league. Your win total this year surpasses anything you won in your first 2 years combined. So you take those 2 years, right? Then you take last year. That was a step. That was a learning experience, right? You take that as a step. You take this year. Look at what you all did this year. You built on what you started last year. So you use this and build it to take it to go to the next step. And this is exactly how I'm talking to Jalen. Hey man, 3 years ago, y'all wasn't even here, bro. So I get it. Use it as motivation, use it as tool, and keep going. Exactly. Now, one thing I need to know, and let me make you all a promise right here on the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. Let me make you all a promise that I want you all to hold me to. I don't have the answer. Let me say it like this. I don't have a confirmed answer from 3 different people yet. I got it confirmed from 2 people. I don't have it confirmed from 3 sources. I got to go. But I will find out what exactly transpired to put Cam Whitmore in the doghouse. Because one of the things that I could not understand is how Cam didn't even get. So let me tell you like this. When I used to play video games, right? When I used to play, let me just say when I used to play Madden, right? When I used to play Madden, I would go into the game with at least 3 to 5 dummy plays, right? And what I mean by dummy plays is I go into 3 to 5 dummy plays that I know that I'm going to use early, right? I'm going to use these dummy plays early, and I'm going to run them a lot. No matter, I don't care what the score is, if I get down or whatever the case may be. But early on, first quarter, I'm going to run these 5 plays a lot. And then after those 5 dummy plays, then I'm going to get into my real plays that I know works. I'm going to get into the real plays that I know you can't stop, right? That I know you can't stop or that I've been successful in. So I come in with these 3 to 5 dummy plays because I want to give my opponent, right? I want to give my opponent I want to put in my opponent's mind, oh, these are the things he likes to do. Oh, he want to run these type. He want to run, 5 wideouts. He ain't even running a running back, right? Or he's running, there's these toss pitch plays or whatever the case may be. So now I got my opponent that thinking that, hey, this is these 3 to 5 plays. Okay, so now I'm gonna adjust my defense to stop this. Oh, he ran this on second down, and I purposely run probably the same plays on every second down, same plays on every third down. Oh yeah, got your mindset into thinking that. So now you've adjusted to that. Come the second half or come the second quarter, when I start running these other plays, your mindset is to stop this, but I've thrown in a wrinkle and a caveat into it. Now you like, where the hell did this play come from? Hold on, man. He didn't run that on the second downs before because you think you've gotten me figured out. So now, bam, I done switched it up. I done switched up the plays. So now guess what you have to do? Now you got to adjust to me doing these plays. And then I'll come back and run maybe 3 of those dummy plays, because now you're like, oh shit, I've gotten you off track now. Because you don't know if I'm going to run these dummy plays or if I'm going to run these plays. I know what I want to do, but I need to put it in your mind that at any point in time, I could always go back to those dummy plays. And if you've adjusted to this, then those dummy plays is going to be those dummy plays are going to be effective against you, because now you don't know which angle I'm coming from. Because I can also run different plays, hot routes, or whatever. I can make the adjustments out of the dummy play looks. And now you don't know what to do. Only thing in your mind is, I know that this is what he was running, and he could go back to running that at any time. I say that to say this. I preface my statement to say this. I feel like the Houston Rockets should have put Cam Whitmore in the game just to give. Hold on for 1 second. Hold on. It's clear that you do not follow me on social media.
What are you talking about?
If you knew,
I literally just got off the plane.
Well, if you knew that I was on, if you'd have checked your social media, you know that I'm in the middle. You're live. I'm on the show, doing the show right now. Hey, y'all, This is Cody M. Davis, right? Former beat reporter here covering the Rockets and the Texans, who now covers the Detroit Pistons. Hey, Cody, say hello to the people.
How am I supposed to know? I've been on the plane and I was calling just to let you know I was home.
Good. You're home. I will call you when I get off this show.
All right. I'm about to listen too. I'm about to tap in and listen.
All right, later.
All right, bye.
So back to what I was saying real quick, because I got to go. So I run these plays to put the opposition, my opponent, in the mindset of he could do that at any time. I feel like that's what the Houston Rockets should have done. You give Cam Whitmore at least give him about 7 minutes. 7 minutes in one game, 7 minutes in another game. Put him on the floor and be like, hey, Cam, we're going to put you in the game. Do what you do. Do what you do, right? So now I do that. Right? If I'm the Houston Rockets, now I do that. Now I put something else on Steve Kerr's plate to think, God dang. Now what? Okay, we didn't game plan for Cam Whitmore, who's, by the way, one of your most effective offensive players as well. Cam can shoot, Cam can get to the basket, and Cam ain't afraid of nobody. His defense, he has to improve, but Cam is also just going on 21 years old, I think. So he's going to improve on that, 21, 22. He's going to improve on that, but you know what you're getting from him on offense. So you put him on that floor and you say, hey, go to work. Because I need to give him an idea that I need to throw something at him, a wrinkle at him that he wasn't ready for. So now, later on, I might have Cam and Jalen on the floor. So now you've seen what Cam has been able to do, or what he hit the potential of him being able to do. Now you can't really just blitz Jalen all the time. And if you do, you live and die. Hey, let Cam take that and shoot the three. Let Cam get in and use that powerful first step to go to the basket. You got to throw something different in there every time. You got to make those different type of adjustments. You got to keep your opponent off balance. So my dummy plays was the equivalent to that. Al, you say, hold on, let me put it up there. I've never seen Cam make the extra pass. He's just one-dimensional right now. He needs to learn the nuances and flow and then determine where he should go eat. That is true. But I understand what you're saying. But sometimes you just need a dog on the floor. Sometimes you just need a dog on the floor. When Lance Stephenson was in the league, there's a lot of things that he was inefficient at when it came to basketball. But you know what he wasn't inefficient on? Being a dog. And Cam, even though the extra passes, that another, if you're doubling Cam, somebody, one of your other players that you really want to be effective on the offense side of the ball is open. And if he ain't making no extra passes, if you one-on-one, it ain't too many players that can go one-on-one. Like there's not too many players that can stop Cam one-on-one. So ain't gonna be no extra passes because ain't gonna be no extra players. Oh, let's see what Cam can do, and then he blow right by you. Bro, I seen Cam do some amazing things on the basketball floor. I was like, damn, he's only 20. 20. And he's strong, and he's ferocious, and he has no fear. And I see you say Lance can find people too. Cam can as well. But you look at, hold on. Lance can keep the defense honest and even lock up your best offensive as. Oh, yeah, true. I definitely understand that. Lance Stevenson, you're right. That came in time. That came in time, though. They came with experience. Cam's only been in the league 2 years. Cam is also, hey, look, I gotta do this. Tremaine, let me tell you this, bro. That young man is a dog. That young man is a dog. When you talk to some of the players that have to battle against him, they'll tell you. I put it like this. Remember that game Cam went off against the Lakers? The Lakers was playing for something. The Rockets weren't. They had already solidified what they were doing. This is the game that Jalen changed at half. The Lakers was playing for something. And Cam gave them that work. Gave him that work. You're right. His body language at times. But Al, he's 20-something years old, bro. Think about how you were when you was 20, 21. You know what? Let me see how old Cam is. I gotta go, y'all, because I think we gotta beat at a certain. Let me look and see how old Cam Whitmore is. Come on, computer. Don't do this to me. Here we go. Full roster. Why is this thing taking so long today? What are we doing here? Use my goodness. Let me see if I can get back here. Here we go. Let me see if I can find it. Let me look. Halle Berry. Cam Whitmore is 20 years old. He turns 21. That's what I thought I remember. They came in the league at 19. So I don't, and that's the one thing I've had this conversation before. I just want to double check and make sure. I was like, this man is in the NBA. This young man is a teenager coming into the NBA. What do you expect from him? You can't expect for him to act like a veteran. He's 19. If Ime would have been coaching this team 4 years ago, I'm pretty sure Jalen probably would have been in his doghouse. KPJ for sure. Alpy would have been in his doghouse. Josh would have been in his doghouse. Like, these guys are 19, 20-year-olds, and Cam ain't even turned 21 yet. And I don't know what you expect from him. He's still learning. I think one of the benefits that Ime Udoka had coming into the league was he had already had a veteran team that Brad Stevens had put together in Boston. And maybe he looked at it from that way, because he's been an assistant coach, but from a head coaching perspective, he's looking at what Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Al Horford and those guys were able to do. Marcus Smart. But that's not this team. And Cam Whitmore has a lot of potential. So I got to get up out of here, y'all. But y'all know, like I said, let's see. Kerr doubled him off the pick and roll, which is something that wasn't used to. Off-season work should handle this. Is a come off 2-3 screen type player like Kerr. IQ isn't there yet. That's something we can discuss next time. What up? Hey, Larry, congratulations on your daughter graduating, man. Let's see. As far as a point guard, I'm convinced we need a more consistent one. I take CP3 just to run the offense and ensure we get good shots down the stretch. We need one more shooter to keep the floor spacing. Yeah, they definitely need a shooter. Maybe it could be Reed Shepherd. We should have inserted Shepherd in the spot up role as soon as Curtis decided to go zone because he could not stop the Rockets' big man rotation. Wasn't getting anything out of Green. Yep. It looked like the game sped up on him again and was doing too much thinking. Talking about Jalen, right? Yeah. Yep. I don't think he had anything to lose, so why not put Reed Shepherd in? You ain't lying. You are not lying. Aaron gonna shoot that thing. Yep. Hit middle at free throw line, who looks opposite to shooters, which yep. Like Denver doesn't ever continue starting over Jabari, which was going to give you the length and offensive skill that Brooks would give you, but the rebound. Exactly. Sorry, thanks. No, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you for being gracious with me, man. I got to get up out of here, y'all. I got to get over to NRG. Let me say this one more thing before I go. Hey, one of the reasons why I think that one of the ways I think that the Rockets coaching staff messed up too is you went double big lineup, you put Jabari Smith Jr. into the game. He's not a 3. A lot of people are trying to judge Jabari off of playing small forward. Jabari is not a 3. Jabari is a 4 or Jabari is a 5. You can play him at the 4 or the 5. Jabari is in the 3. You put him in a corner and just tell him to shoot. But he's more effective if you allow him to get to the paint, operate from around the paint and to shoot over players. Swinging the ball to him and telling him to hit the corner 3, that's not how I feel like you should play him. You're going to play him at the 4 or the 5 and let him operate in that area where he's more athletic than some of the centers, the 4s and the 5s that's holding him. Or when they switch, he can shoot over. He can definitely hit the mid-range shot. He can definitely hit the elbow extended shot. He can definitely get inside the paint and create his own shot inside the paint. But he's not a 3 where you want him to get to the basket and create coming off the wing. He's not that. You're not. He's not going to dribble and create his own shot. He can dribble, but he's not effective enough to create his own shot like that. Let him operate where he's strong at, either the 4 or the 5. But that's something, like I said, that I feel like, look, Ime is a head coach, and he's a great head coach. He is a great head coach. I cannot take that away from him, but that's just something that he's, just a little something Sarge doing that. Man, it felt good to be back, y'all. I got to get up out of here so I can give y'all what's going on over at Rookie Minicamp. Hey, make sure you subscribe to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show on YouTube at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. And make sure you follow me on Instagram because, we do everything for the gram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out.
Hard work. Hard work.